Welcome back. If you followed this journey so far, thank you so much for watching. And if you just stumbled on this episode, this is the final part of a 5-part series. There are 4 episodes before this one, covering my entire journey. I'm riding along the Adriatic coast, crossing multiple countries, dealing with a major bike breakdown, sleeping on an island, and even riding over a mountain pass in the Alps that was completely destroyed by a landslide. It is now permanently closed. If you enjoyed the journey so far, hit that bell icon so you don't miss the next adventure. Right now, I'm in Germany, exploring at the foothills of the Alps near Lake Starnberg. About 150 years ago, King Ludwig II spent a lot of time in this exact region, and is said to have called it one of the most beautiful parts of Bavaria. And honestly, I have to agree with him. After all that riding, we needed to cool down. We grabbed a few hammocks and just spent the entire day relaxing at the lake. This is what happens when you tell your friends, just act normal, I'm gonna be filming. Lake Starnberg is the second largest lake in Bavaria and one of the deepest lakes in Germany. It is also known for a mystery. In 1886, Ludwig II of Bavaria was found dead here, under unclear circumstances till this day. If that name rings a bell, maybe because not far from here, he commissioned one of the most famous castles in the world, the Neuschwanstein Castle. It looks like something straight out of a fairy tale, and it actually inspired many. Walt Disney even used it as an inspiration for his iconic castle. You know, the one every Disney movie starts with. Next up, Garmisch-Partenkirchen. I think I visited this place like 3 times already, but I would still come back again. This time I got lucky. Perfect weather and not too many people. Still a bit too crowded for my taste, but manageable. We went to the Parkna Gorge, and the exit gate on the far side was open so we could explore beyond it. The valley on the other side, even more beautiful than the gorge itself. Inside the gorge, you walk through tunnels carved into the rock right next to the river. Water is constantly dripping from above. It is so intense that they even sell ponchos at the entrance. The river flowing through here is the Parkna River, and it's fed by snowmelt from the Alps, which is why it's so cold and has that icy blue color. After exiting the gorge, we reached this open valley. And this is my favorite type of place. Benches, wooden loungers, quiet nature, no crowds, just sit, relax, and take it all in. Garmisch itself is a small town, but it's packed with things to do. From taking a cable car up to Zugspitze, the highest mountain in Germany, to visiting glass viewing platforms, exploring nearby lakes like Eibsee, which is one of the most beautiful alpine lakes in the country, or even hopping on a train that takes you straight into the mountains. I paid €4 for this snack, 2 sausages, a piece of bread and mustard. Not gonna lie, a bit underwhelming. But one thing I 100% recommend, get a pretzel with butter. That one is perfect. The next day, we went to see the Josefsthaler waterfall near Lake Schliersee. And this is exactly my kind of place. The trail is marked, but that's it. No crowds, no infrastructure, just nature. We reached the waterfall pretty quickly and I had to do it. If there is a waterfall and you can't jump into it, you at least have to stand under it. The water was freezing and the water spray made it hard to breathe, but it was worth it. The waterfall is about 12 meters high and it's located in a region full of hiking and mountain biking trails. The forests around here are incredibly rich with wildlife and wild plants. We found wild strawberries. They're tiny but insanely flavorful. They taste like a super concentrated version of a normal strawberry, like 10 times stronger. I stayed a bit longer than planned, but now it was time to return home. The ride back wasn't going to be that exciting, mostly highway riding with one stop in Budapest. And I was chasing the sun, trying to stay ahead of incoming rain across the Balkans forecasted for the next 10 days. The plan was simple: ride the first 300 kilometers in the rain, then hopefully another 300 not in the rain to reach Budapest and get some rest. And the next day would be the biggest stretch of the entire trip. 850 kilometers from Budapest all the way back to Skopje. Riding in the rain was not fun. My waterproof gloves failed and my hands were completely soaked, so I had to improvise. I stopped at the Baumarkt and bought these chemical-resistant work gloves. They have like a thick rubber layer on the outside, cotton on the inside, and that was the best decision ever. They were fully waterproof, and for navigation I needed to charge my phone. So I just grabbed a Ziploc bag and put both my phone and a power bank inside, and that worked perfectly. Gas station food wasn't great overall, but those beef jerky sticks with jalapeno inside were actually amazing. After entering Austria, the weather finally started to improve, and I could enjoy the ride a bit more. I passed Vienna and I continued towards Hungary. Now look at the difference. This is how a normal border crossing should look like. I just got myself a vignette and I could keep going. At one point, I exited the highway to save some money on fuel. Fuel is much more expensive on the highway, so I ended up in this insane setup with 3 roundabouts just to get in and out of the highway. I saved about 5 euros though. I'm still not sure if it was worth it. I reached the outskirts of Budapest, but I didn't go into the city since I was in a rush. I found a cheap hotel near the highway so I could get an early start the next day. Dinner was simple, Burger King, and straight to sleep. I woke up at 3 a.m. because I had 850 kilometers ahead of me and a busy border to deal with. I pushed the bike a bit away from the hotel so I wouldn't wake anyone up. And then I set off. It was dark, cold, and I was still half asleep, but I had to keep going. This border is always bad, but this time it was something else. There was a line of cars and trucks stretching for over 10 kilometers. With the bike filtering through took me about 30 minutes, but the cars, they were probably waiting anywhere from 5 to 10 hours. This is something most people in Western Europe or the US will never understand, having to plan your entire trip around border delays. Serbia was pretty uneventful. Their highway system works like in Italy. You take a ticket when entering and then you pay when you exit. The rest stops really vary. Some are empty and kind of depressing, while others are actually really nice, almost like a small parks. I stopped at one of the better ones, had my last slice of pizza, and saved one thing for later: an Oreo donut from Lidl. It was a long and honestly pretty boring ride, but I was finally close to home, and the only thing on my mind at that point was that Oreo donut. What can I say? Not the mountains, not the passes, not even the fact that I just rode half across Europe. Just that donut. And somehow, that felt right. 15 days ago, I wasn't even sure if I should start the trip. I almost didn't go. And now, 3,500 kilometers later, through breakdowns, random roads, empty highways, and some of the best views I have ever seen, I made it back home. Same bike, same me, but everything else feels really slow, like I'm in slow motion. So yeah, that Oreo donut, I wish I could get one while I'm editing the video. On second thought, wait a minute, where is the Volt app? Thank you. Oh, this was still recording. So, thanks for watching this whole journey, from the Adriatic to the Alps and back home. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. And yeah, there's definitely more coming.